Hi everyone, today we have some question based on Form 1 and 2 and Form 3 and 4. So without wasting time, let's start. The first question states like, define the following historic concept. The first is carbon 14. Carbon 14 is simply methods used to determine dates, determine age, especially in estimation of 50,000 years or 60,000 years. Again, we have the second term, bipedalism. Bipedalism. This is the ability and practice of a man to walk by two limbs. It happens during that period, that stage of man becoming Homo erectus. Again, we have third terminology called age-set system. This was simply a social structure which grouped the society according to the society of people according to age and their sex. This is much practiced in pastoral society, like for Maasai. They divide people according to age and sex and giving them responsibilities. Fourth terminology is kinship. Kinship, this is a social organization based on blood, marriage, or adoption. Kinship. Again, we have a fifth terminology, archives. Archives, this is the one among of the source of history. Is simply a place whereby private and public documents are kept. That is archives. Again, we have sixth term, feudalism. Feudalism, this is a third mode of production existed in pre-colonial African society, and this one is the second exploitative mode of production. So it is the third and second mode, is the third mode of production and second exploitative mode of production based much on the ownership of land. Feudalism practiced in Africa in many parts. In Zanzibar and the coastal region it was called Umwinyi. In Rwanda and the Burundi it was called Bugabire. So that is feudalism. Seventh term is Moresby treat. Moresby treat is one amongst of the treated signed during the abolition of slave trade. So for this Moresby, it was started in 1822, and the one who pioneered this treat was called British governor of Mauritius. He sent Captain Fairfax Moresby to conduct this anti-slavery treaty, in which it's forbidden slaves to move to French West Indies, and also slaves to be sent to India. So that one was the condition or restriction of this treaty. Moresby Treaty, done 1820-22. Another terminology we have is migration. Migration, this is a simple terminology, mean a movement of people from one place to another. For example, we can take Ngoni migration. Ngoni migration is simply a migration of people or a movement of people from NATO, South Africa to Central and East Africa during 18th century. The major cause of this migration was the shortage of land, population increase, Boer trek, and the influence of Shaka Zulu, which led to Mfekane War. So the last term for today is colonialism. So it's simple to define colonialism: a situation in which a powerful nation dominates weak nation in all aspects of life, socially, culturally, and politically. So that was the first question. We define it's like 9 terms. So the second portion here is about short notes. Short notes. In this question, a student should explain a little bit, like 3 lines. 2 lines is enough because the mark is few. It may be got 2 marks. So you should explain briefly. So in this part, the first question asks, what caused the outbreak of Great Economic Depression? So actually we have many points cause Great Economic Depression. So in short notes, you explain a few, maybe 2 points. 2 points is enough. You explain in briefly. So I may choose one reason lead to Great Economic Depression. The point is protective tariff. USA at first set high tariffs for European goods for not allowing them to enter their goods in United States of America. For that reason, again, European powers decided to set high tariffs to American goods. As the result, every country remain with their goods, and their goods lack consumers or customers. As the result, it led to Great Economic Depression because their goods lack market. Another cause of Great Economic Depression, I can say, overproduction. America and other European countries produced more goods that lacked market. As the result, it led to Great Economic Depression. The second question is, what were the resolution of Berlin Conference of 1884 to 1885? So this resolution we refer to principles of Berlin Conference. Would you please hold it? The principles of Berlin Conference. So we got many principles, but here, because the question need short notes, is you mention and explain brief a few points. For instance, one among of the resolution or principle of Berlin Conference was Congo was given to King Leopold of Belgium. Why Congo was given to King Leopold of Belgium is because Congo was a scrambled match by many countries like Portugal, France, Germany. So it was given to Belgium so as to avoid conflict among these scrambled nation. So that was the principle. Another principle you may explain a little bit is free navigation, especially for Niger and the Congo River. So again, this principle aimed to avoid conflict because before this resolution of Berlin Conference, it was forbidden to other countries to use Niger River or Congo River. But after Berlin, they were allowed. They allowed to use Niger and Congo River for transportation and to penetrate interior of Africa. So these 2 points are enough to be used in short notes. Again, the third point asks how Bandung Conference facilitated the rise of African nationalism. So, to cut it short, Bandung Conference facilitated the rise of African nationalism by sharing strategy in which African countries should take in order to attain their independence. So here in this meeting, African countries were advised to use either peaceful method, and if peaceful method failed, were advised to use armed struggle and revolution means. Bandung Conference, if you are not aware of this was a meeting took place in Indonesia 1955, in which 29 countries gathered, 23 from Asia and 6 countries from Africa. Their aim was to discuss on how African could attain independence. Another question is, in 2 points, explain why most of historians call the League of Nations a toothless dog. This question is simple because one reason is the failure of League of Nations, to protect Ethiopia from Italian invasion, also to protect Manchuria from Japanese invasion, and to protect Poland from Germany invasion, because the aim of establishing the League of Nations was to protect peace and security in the world. So its failure led it to be called a toothless dog. Again, it was failed to made a Versailles peace treaty in proper way. It failed to manage this Versailles peace treaty impact. As the result, it led to the rise of Second World War. So that's why a League of Nations is called a toothless dog. The last question in this part of short notes is it says, during slavery, people did not become slaves by accident. Substantiate the statement. So this question wants a student to explain the ways in which slaves were obtained. So slaves were obtained in many ways. One was through ambush, through raiding community, through we say through lies and tricks. So by these 2 questions, I explain important term and explain these short notes is enough for you to improve your performance as a Form 1, Form 2, and Form 3 and 4 student. Thank you for watching.